and him and his brother sidelined him, and they caught a lot of flack for that. And I was like, well, they haven't said what happened, so you know. And then, but people just like to criticize.
Yeah.
And then when Almeida comes in, Reina continues to be sidelined, and eventually they just let his contract run out. And then Nestor has said how he tried to offload him to teams and no one would take him.
And nobody wants
He,
him.
he said even for free. He's like, yeah. He said he went to teams saying if they wanted to player. He was already, I guess, bad news, and 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 then but it was trippy how the criticism like ended there because like Almeida didn't use him,
I didn't even know he
and
was there when Almeida was there. That's
yeah,
crazy.
he was there, and Almeida said that he talked to other players,
Ain't
and
nobody wanted
they
him.
asked, yeah, and nobody wanted him, so he's like, I can't start with a bad locker room, so
Oh.
and they didn't even talk to him, dude. He didn't even
Are
talk
you
to him.
sure Almeida was still there? Because it says,
Yeah,
when did Almeida
nope,
join? Like 2015, 2016?
yeah, well, because Nestor, they had just been taking Nestor out.
All right, let me kick this off.
All right.
I always forget to record the good parts. Hello, everybody. Yes, playing the meme music because El Gigante got knocked out from Liguilla, the team that was on top, the number one team. Oh boy, fell mighty, mighty hard, but there's also some other cheesemen going around. Angel Reina drops a truth bomb about Osvaldo Sanchez trying to fix a match. And we have a list of 31 players that may or may not be going to Qatar. We also have some controversy against Alexis Vega. Also something about Edson Alvarez today. A lot to go over tonight, but before I go any further, let me welcome Joel to the pod. Joel, how we doing?
Greetings, Jaime. Good, man. I'm pretty good. Um, I know the selection list just got released. Wanting to see what's gonna go on there. I think it's pretty predictable who the five cut are gonna be. We could discuss this later.
Yeah, it went from like, hey, you need a preliminary list of 55 that never, that was just never submitted, even though it was due, to now that he has sort of a dress rehearsal list. But I think there's a good idea of who and who may not make it to Qatar. There's even possibility that Humpty Dumpty, aka Raul Jimenez, might not even go, depending on
He,
his injury.
yeah, supposedly he's doing the rehab, you know, and kind of shows how for the club to let him go, you know, it kind of shows where he kind of stands right now, which kind of It's, which it sucks, man. It really sucks because this guy was on the top of his game when he got injured, and once again, Mexico misses out on a top striker. We dude, Mexico can't get just they can't get a break.
Can't get a
You know
healthy
they
break. There's always an injury that like happens before a World Cup. You know,
or
Tecatito.
like Hugo Sanchez going into the 1990 World Cup. That's when he was at his best, and Mexico got banned, so he couldn't do anything. Um, and we've had other players just get injured that would have, were coming in like in their prime. A Chivas guy going into dude, I keep forgetting his name.
Who?
I don't know if it was 86 or 70. I'm gonna search it for you, Jaime.
All right.
This guy was supposed to be like a goat, and got one of those career-ending injuries.
Well, we've had a few of those with like, obviously Vanilla Medina. I think that was a pretty. He was on a trajectory and he got injured, and I don't think he ever fully recovered from that. And then there's also, Pina Arellano, Sergio Avila, a lot of players that got career-ending injuries. Oh yeah, Marco Fabian too. I mean, his back. But man, we have quite a podcast night. We'll wait for our special, our number one fan, see if he shows up later, because I want to wait for him to hop on before I grill him.
You called it. I had
Oh
I had
man,
America's favorites. To me, they were number one candidates.
everybody had America's favorites, and
Yeah, can't blame them. They the way they destroyed Puebla.
they can dish it, but they
And
can't take it, man. They've been like, please stop the bullying. I love it. We can talk about the other team though, the other half with Pachuca and Monterrey. Your boy, man. What happened to your boy Vucetic? He just couldn't handle he couldn't handle it, bro.
Yeah, well, better team. Because I think Monterrey on paper is one of the stronger teams, but it's a team that's had a lot of like problems, like locker room problems, I would say, and
Hmm.
it went because they had Aguirre. Remember, let's remember they had
Yeah, they
El
did.
Vasco, and it, he's a guy that he's won the Liga MX before. He knows what's up. A lot of experience, and for that team to crash the way it did with him, and not just with him, even when Turco was there. So a lot of stuff going on there. I believe they just announced Tata Noriega as their GM. I believe I saw well I saw I saw the welcome tweet, but it didn't say what his position was.
Hmm.
Do you remember
Interesting.
him as a player,
Who?
Noriega?
A
You
little
don't
bit.
remember?
A little bit.
Yeah. But so I mean, I think they're trying to fix things. And I don't think they haven't sacked Buse. I don't know if they're gonna sack him. Sometimes GM comes
You
in
really
and
think they'll sack him?
well, I don't know, man. Sometimes GM comes in and they want to clean house. So who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen there? But he did take them to the semis, put him right back within grasp. You know, um, team did have a meltdown, but they had the red card, and then in the first game they just fell apart after that.
I was fully entertained. A lot of action on both ends. Pachuca score within the ninth minute. I I thought Monterrey were winning because for some fucking reason on the first leg in Hidalgo, they made Pachuca wear their away jersey, and Rayados was wearing their home jersey. And like the jersey from Pachuca and Rayados looks very similar. So I'm like, damn, Vucetich getting the job done. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, no, they're losing. Yeah, it was very confusing. It was like I don't know why they decided to do that, but I was very confused with the choice of the kits. But yeah, I know Pachuca handled business in that first leg, and after that, man, it was pretty much over. Um, that second leg was. I don't understand. You need like 3 or 4 goals, and you park the bus. Like that's typical Vucetich, bro. That guy's he's lost his touch, bro. He's not Midas anymore. He's like bronze.
I don't think so, man. I just think because we're just looking at titles, but his numbers are really good, and I'm gonna have to look for this stat because I think oh man, I'm forgetting his name right now. Posted it up, and it was like goals, like goal differential and points and all that. Monterrey was way up there, man,
Oh, I believe it.
and that's one of the things that always has worked on his favor, where it's like he'll give you a stable club, and most of the time numbers are will be in your favor. So very few coaches can do that. You know, he's at least consistent in that. I do think the King Midas, the whole winning like that, he's not at that point. But you know, we don't need to go to the extreme of he sucks now. He still what he does is still difficult. Very few coaches can and maintain, maintain themselves at that level.
Yeah, I mean, I give him props for even making it that far. Rayados is a great team, but let's look at the brass tacks right now. You have both America and Monterrey eliminated from the championship, and yet this list that Tata has called up, a lot of the team is built around Rayados and America players. You have Ochoa, you have Gallardo, Hector Moreno, Cesar Montes, you have Funes Mori. I mean, this is concerning, right? This isn't alarming that Tata isn't calling up the best players that are in form right now.
Yeah, usually that's what they do, man. They bring in, but they bring in the players that are in the hot streak, but at the same time, you also want players that are used to playing together.
Moreno, he played terrible against Pachuca in the first game. Obviously, they lost what 5-2. He didn't start on the return game where they did a lot better defensively. But on the other end, you had Funes Mori miss a PK and a couple clear chances. And now those guys have a high chance of starting in the World Cup.
Welcome to the show,
Which,
Pastor. Um, but yeah, dude, like, come on, man. You taking Funes Mori to the World Cup? I understand he
well,
fits your
not yet.
I understand he fits your profile, and you have a strategy that you're going to use against Poland, and another one against Argentina, and another against Saudi Arabia. But they had Juan Carlos Osorio on ESPN Deportes, and he was saying like you cannot leave out a player like Javier Hernandez. You can't leave him out. You can't leave him out of the World Cup, bro. I'm like, dude, that's what I've been saying. We're gonna
Do you
take
see him talk about his strategy? How leading up to that game versus Germany?
no.
So they basically told him like on the games before Germany you were playing completely different than how you actually played Germany. What was that about? He basically said, well, we had a 4-3-3 setup. It's gonna be in transition, but in one friendly game I would play just the defense that was planning playing against Germany, and everybody else was random. Then the next game we would play
Mm,
just the midfield, and then the next game like just the strikers, but never the full starting 11.
wow.
But we would use that friendly for the defense to focus on how I wanted to play against Germany and to play just like that not taking into consideration what the opposing team was doing. So he was literally had this whole strategy. Everyone was locked in, and then they come and face Germany, and it's a complete different starting 11, and then a complete different strategy. But they were in pra- practicing it behind the scenes.
This dude was playing 40 chess, dog.
Yeah, he was. It was crazy. And once you hear like somebody talk about it like that, and you as a fan not knowing what the hell's going on, you're at those friendlies, you're like, "No, madre, is this how they're playing?" And
Yeah.
not knowing it's intentional the whole time.
So do you think Tata's doing something similar, or he's just like out of his
Oh
mind?
no, I was bringing it up because I think Tata's actually playing the way he plans on playing at the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
I think teams are gonna be able to break him down pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. I get it. You have a certain idea in your head. You think it's gonna go like this, but dude, I don't know, man. The way these strikers are looking, like only maybe Henry Martin. He's the only one that kind of looks like, all right, he might be able to get the job done. I don't know how Santi Jimenez is doing out there in Holland, but I don't think he's gonna be a starter in the World Cup.
Well, watch Tata's recent press conference. He kind of like defended himself. He said that going into the job, he knew he was responsible for the generational change, but that he was also kind of like misled. He named them by name. He was like Jorge Sanchez, Kevin Alvarez, Uriel Antuna, Piojo Alvarado, and like just keeps going.
Uh huh.
He's like, I was under the impression that majority of these guys were going to be in Europe, and it's only been like three. So there was I know I was supposed to do generational change, but there's nothing to do with generational change with. So it seems like he doesn't have faith in these guys, and then he also criticized them staying in their comfort zone and not making moves to Europe.
Mm.
He called out like 9, 10 guys specifically.
Yeah, and I wonder how much of that is the player's decision and how much of that is the club's decision.
Yeah, but you can tell he's leaving for sure. I mean, we already knew he was gonna leave, but now that he's like kind of airing out to like the laundry, like critiquing players and like directiva, trying to like make himself like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
not the one who's 100% at fault. You can tell, just gonna put in my last 2 months of work and get out of here.
This dude is just trying to wash his hands and walk away from this like, hey, don't blame me.
Exactly.
Well, I think the directiva as well. No one has backed him up since they fired Torrado and I think it's what Memo Cantu. The people that brought him in, and you know, he's been getting attacked left and right, and no one in the Federación has really backed him up. So I think you could say he's cracking under pressure, and then just looking to like Pastor said, kind of like airing out the dirty laundry, you know.
I'm looking at this list. There's also like 15 players that he called up for sparring. What does that mean? I don't know what that
Fight,
means.
dude. Fight
They're
club.
not part of the
duke it out.
55 list, like the preliminary 55 list. Uh, so they cannot participate in the World Cup whatsoever. But they're there to like when they do scrimmages and stuff like that, just to like put a little pressure on the starters. But
Oh.
without the 23, but without the 23 feeling like one of these guys can take their spot. No, they're literally just there for sparring.
Or to give them experience if they're young enough, they take them along for the ride so they kind of see what it's like.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't always pan out that way. Look at Mayorga. Osorio took Mayorga to Confederations Cup, and then what? Mayorga kind of like went to the bench after that for a year.
No, but
And
I mean for the sparring, usually, like I know Argentina would do that in tournaments. They'll take the under 20 selection, and so that they could put some practice games with the main team, and it was mostly to, you know, obviously from all that list, it's always a handful that are gonna make it all the way to the senior team, but for the most part, it's kind of just helping these guys get some experience, and then when they play their tournament, they're not as overwhelmed because they sort of, they kind of got like a taste of what it's like.
I,
yeah, and I'm curious what the selection process is behind that, because like Perez Bouquet got chosen,
yeah, he
but we all
did.
know he's like talented. So like, how does Perez Bouquet get chosen? Did he get chosen specifically by Martino, or like what's going on? Because at the same time,
Yeah,
Chivas could be risking like an injury, but also raises a question of like he's not like good enough to show up on your bench, but he's good enough to be a sparring opponent for a World Cup cycle.
well, yeah, because I mean, there's the thing as well with the selection coach is gonna call whoever he wants. He's and they usually have their own scouts and whatnot, so it's not like they tell Chivas who are your which two players do you want to send for sparring. So is it supposed to be another one from Chivas in there?
It's just him.
Oh, because I think Pelaez, when he was leaving, he said there was going to be 4 players. And I was thinking like 2 in the senior team and then probably 2 more in you know, in this mini group.
From Chivas, the only 2 players that were called up for the senior side was obviously Piojo Alvarado and Alexis Vega. That's it. No Nene Beltran. And then just Perez Bouquet for the sparring. And quite a few players from Rayados, the second team. Pumas in there, Pachuca, America. No Marcelo Flores on that sparring list.
Yeah, no Marcelo, and that was something he mentioned on his press conference. He didn't call out Marcelo specifically, but he is kind of towards Marcelo and Sendejas. He kind of said that. you know what? The national team is the national team. In Argentina, we're obsessed with the national team. If you get called up to the national team, there's no questions asked. There should be no ifs, buts, or like special requests. So I think, with Marcelo Flores, when his parents kind of influenced, like, he'll go to Mexico, but kind of wants to be part of the World Cup roster. Sendejas, same thing. Like, I'll go, but am I going to the World Cup? I think that was a big turnoff for him. So
Mm,
I think just like how he blacklisted Chicharito for like doing his BS and not respecting Selección, he also like kind of blacklisted them because he felt like they were trying to like they were
leverage.
doing Selección a favor,
Yeah. Well, with
and I get
Marcelo,
that.
it seemed like he finally committed to Mexico. Excuse me. And then, I mean, he took him to Austin. I was there. That was only less than a year ago. So it seemed like they were like serious about him. One thing about him though is he kind of took a step back by going to the second division in Spain. Like they were under the impression that he was going to get minutes there, be a starter, and he hasn't even gotten minutes. So I feel like it's been like a terrible experiment gone wrong.
Well, it was part of like also like not just the media, but probably people that represent him, just using the whole Ajax to blow smoke up people's ass. And you saw how fans right away were, you know, like begging for this guy, thinking that because he's in London, that he's the next best thing, and they'll play the goals he's scoring in under 20, and they're thinking that he's what the selección needs, and I could see why the coach could be like, you're kind of using the selección to promote yourself, and you can't even win a spot in the first team, and so now he's not even playing, so it's like kind of proved him right all along. I do think if he took him was probably just pressure from sponsors or probably Federación because they like to sell the team to the fans, when they go a Molero that are paying top dollar. So if they're requesting this guy, they'll throw him at him at least for the Molero.
Bro, if you go on the subreddit of Liga MX, there, I mean, you'll find posts about why isn't Marcelo should be like starting, Marcelo should be playing in the World Cup. Like, dude, people were on his nuts, and and I remember when he in that Austin game against Chile, like everybody was calling out his name in the stands. Like, dude, the hype was real, and everybody was criticizing Tata Leo. Why didn't you like give him enough minutes? And like, yo, you guys need to slow the fuck down, bro. And a lot of people didn't like that, but he's been in all the promo shoots and everything. So long term, Mexico knows they have a marketing guy. Like they know that he's like the next like image and the next guy to carry the Mexican brand or whatever. He's not gonna go anywhere. But I think career wise, it definitely took a big step back, doing that loan to Real Oviedo. Just like Linus, man, like him going to Portugal and he's not.
I gotta disagree with that.
What?
Him taking a step back with Flores. And with me, I'm a little biased. To me, for example, what I mean by that, Premier League is the most entertaining league in the world,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's the best. I think their defense is very physical, very low on tactics. Their defense, you rarely have players in the Premier League that are defenders are considered like the world's best. Van Dijk lasted what like 2 years at that level and then fell off. Last Ballon d'Oro to come from the Premier League was Cristiano Ronaldo back in '08. So I consider La Liga a lot more talented.
Uh huh.
It's not as entertaining, but a lot more talented. And with that, La Liga Dos, I consider it to be more difficult, more talented, and challenging as opposed to playing with
U 23.
U20s, U23s. So I think the fact that he didn't do so well, it's and kind of a blessing because it shows him how much he has to improve, and it kind of also shows the fans and everyone else like he's not ready for this first team level. But I think if he learns from it, and I think that's one reason they probably didn't call him up. So he like stays with the team. He tries to earn that spot, and I think for his career, it'll benefit him not getting called up because he can actually focus on playing against these 23, 25, 30-year-old players in a more competitive league than he was currently in, and it should be a blessing. So I think it's a blessing in disguise.
We'll see, man, because even Arsenal themselves were complaining and calling, considering canceling the loan and just bringing him back to Arsenal because that's the whole point is for him to get minutes and exposure. You can only do that in training so much. You have to get actual playing time in order to take advantage of what you just mentioned, all the benefits of being in the second division. He's not even getting that, bro. So it's like,
But he wasn't going to get at Arsenal either.
yeah, but at least at Arsenal, he can be a starter in the under 23 team. And at the end of the day, bro, like you can train all you want, dude, but if you're not playing in like actual competitive matches, then what are we doing here?
Yeah, and I
Agreed.
get that, but I feel like right now it's like you have a talented player and you move them up a couple age groups. He might not get playing time, but if a couple 6, 9, 12 months out of it, he'll reap a lot of
I
benefits
mean,
from it.
Carlos Vega was
You just got to make sure he doesn't lose his confidence.
Carlos Vela was what at Celta Vigo in second division, and he was handled like a boss, bro.
Yeah, but in my opinion, Carlos Vela is like top 5 Mexican players, most talented ever born.
And how old was
He-
he? He was young when he went to the second division, bro. He was a teenager. I'm pretty sure he was 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was young, and but like I said, in my personal opinion, I think Carlos Vela probably has one of the top 3 left foots as far as talent is concerned, like in Mexican history. Like that left foot is just insane. The amount
Dude,
of
he was
talent he has.
16 at Celta Vigo. Man, then he went to Salamanca, 31 appearances. Bro, he was 17. How old is Marcelo?
I don't know, maybe
Is he like
18.
21? I thought he was like
He's
20 already.
19, bruh.
Oh, there you go.
Why is it that
Yeah,
like the
he should already be a starter.
damn
Just really
dude?
quick, I'm just gonna add.
Go ahead.
I I I agree with Pastor that it's not a step down going from the under 23 to second division. But I agree with you, Jaime, that if he's not getting PT, then it is a step down because you do have to play. That whole it benefits. I've never seen it work. I've never seen a player that couldn't crack into a team and that it benefited them later on. It's always playing time. You just have to keep playing. You go to MLS, and if you're getting the playing time, you'll be better off than being at Real Madrid. Just you're practically that reserve team that Mexico's taking. You're never really gonna play. At the competitive game, you're just playing the practice ones. And but that's always been the key to stay active. To keep playing and put yourself in those situations where you could be like the key player or the goleador or heart of the team, whatever it is. But you just want to keep playing. Um, when was it, Jaime? We did the comparison. Was it like a year ago when we compared the Peruano, that's a Chivas. Um, what's that
Ormenio?
dude's name? Yeah, we compared Ormeño to the Argentine that was at Pumas. I don't know if he's still with them. He got injured. Remember, about same age, same height, started their career at the same time,
Yeah.
and we could see their trajectory and just how much more playing time the Argent dude had, and all these teams he played in. A lot of them were like Ecuador and like Venezuela or whatever, but ultimately he has the better career. Although ironically, this dude made it to the national team, which,
I know,
which
right?
is trippy. It's just trippy. He made it to the Peruna and got to a Copa America, but his numbers are still better. Dude, what's his name, man? Like Ken.
Dinero?
There you go, Dineno. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. I could not remember, but we were comparing these guys because they kind of hit the hot streak at the same time, and they were
Hmm.
very similar, height, age,
Same age, same height.
everything. And but when you see the trajectory where Ormeño sort of disappeared, he just was like I don't know what was going on, man. It's just empty. But the other dude kept playing all type of games. Um,
Yeah, he went through
oh
Racing. He went through like quite a few different teams before he landed at Pumas.
yeah, yeah. I think the injury. I haven't heard from him. I don't know how bad that injury was.
But really, like Dinero or Ormeño's breakout was at Puebla with 40 appearances. But since then, dude, it's been pretty low. He's only scored, man, since Puebla. He's only scored one, two, three. He's only scored 4 goals, bro, in in a year or two. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, I think that's like I'm not trying to get off topic, but I think that's always been one of the downfalls with the Mexican youth, where they end up not getting the playing time, and some of these other players that were in that started the same as Mex, they do get playing time. They'll go to whatever league they can, and then they end up in Mex, you know. And if you compare it to a lot of these Mexican youth, at the younger age group, the Mex players always seemed like they were going to do way better. But because then they stayed inactive, sort of like disappeared, man.
I'm looking at Real Oviedo's roster right now, and there's only 6 players under 25. Everybody else is like on the older range.
Damn.
So yeah,
Damn.
so it's not like he's a young guy in a young team and not playing. You can tell it's like a pretty experienced team. So that's why I said
It is.
I think it's a step up from leaving Arsenal. He just has to like get through all those
Yeah, but
burdens.
you know what, Pastor? A lot of these players that end up being really good by 19, they're already first team material. You could check all these players that are like that stand out, and I guarantee you, that's the other thing we did one time. Me and Jaime, we were going down the list of a lot of players, and by 18, 19, these guys were already bossing it.
Yeah, but you gotta also look at Marcelo Flores. I mean, the dude is tiny. He's what 5'5".
Yeah, that's gonna
Yeah,
yeah.
he's like 5'5". He's probably what like 120, 130. Uh,
Damn.
yeah, I mean he's a tiny dude. I'm sure that's why like he was doing well like in in the 23s with Arsenal. I mean he had like 10 matches, 4 goals, 1 assist, but like that's where his talent was standing out. Now where he's in La Liga too, he has the talent, but he just doesn't has the physical to be playing against these grown men.
Like, I
So
got bigger shits that are bigger than you, man. You're the little punk.
yeah, no, like Bella, at least Bella was like 5'9". I'm sure maybe he was like 140,
I didn't realize he
150.
was that small.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm sure all that plays a role into it. And he looks like a pretty, he looks like an introvert. So I'm not sure if that affects how you
Well, he's a
mix in.
ginger, mate. Gingers don't have souls.
So that might affect. So I think it might be a lot of things, but I think it'd be a little early to roll him out. If if not, Arsenal would already gotten rid of him if they didn't see any future potential in him.
Yeah. And the saddest part is Oviedo's not even doing well. They're 16th in the league. You know, they could
Yeah,
probably switch things up. And I mean, what's the worst that could happen? They're already losing.
yeah, that's probably another thing. They're already losing, so like, why wouldn't play the kids? Like, we're doing bad. We gotta go for experience.
Well, Pastor, now that you're on here, I did want to talk about the controversy that surrounded Alexis Vega after America was eliminated by Toluca. He goes on Twitter and he's room for them, man. He's room for the 11th title, man. That rubbed me the wrong way.
I agree with that. There are a lot of people that have said that I was exaggerating, that, Toluca gave him his chance, his first big shot, chance at a pro. I get all that. I respect it. But the thing is that Chivas and Toluca play in the same league. So, it's like if you play for Sevilla and you move over to Barcelona and Barcelona gets knocked out of some tournament. So now you go on Twitter and you like support Sevilla even though it was your previous team, you're in the same league. Your team just got knocked out. At least have like some vergüenza deportiva, and like keep that shit to yourself, bro. Like text your Toluca buddies, congratulate them, whatever. But don't go on public because it kind of shows like you don't give a damn about you being eliminated.
Yeah, it rubs me the wrong way for two different reasons. Number one, like they are the enemy, bro. Like if Chivas would have had a good deep run in the playoffs instead of shitting the bed against Puebla, Toluca could have been a potential like opponent. Are you gonna root for them then when we were first facing them head to head? Like no, it's just like bro, like we pay your paycheck. Like you should not be rooting for anybody else in the league. You do that quietly, you do that internally, but you don't post it on social media, especially after like not stepping up and not showing up for these matches, bro. Like where were you in Liga, man? Like
Yeah, that's the thing. He hasn't shown up in Liguilla. He hasn't scored in the Clásico. Clásicos he has played in, Chivas has not won. So he has the talent. He scores golazos, free kicks outside the box. But when it comes to the moment of truth, he has disappeared. And then you see him congratulating another team and wishing they won the title, which puts him one title behind you. It's like, kind of rubs me the wrong way as well.
yeah, there's no defending it, and I don't understand people that were defending it. Oh man, they give him a start, blah blah blah. It's not that big of a deal, but it should be a big deal. We don't even know if he'll ever play for Chivas ever again, because assuming he has a good World Cup, that dude's gone.
You think so?
Yeah,
Mm,
I think
I don't
Chivas
know.
need to fund this new campaign, and it's gonna have to be Alexis Vega. I don't think Chivas will go as far as selling him to a cross rival team. I don't think they'll sell him within Mexico. Um, unless it's like if like Monterrey says 20 million, I'm pretty sure they would sell him. But honestly, with like the connection with PSV now, whatever brotherhood we have with them or whatever business thing we have with them, I could see him like leaving after the World Cup if he has
I,
a
I
decent.
I can see it, but I mean that's your designated player, that's your marquee. You need to have somebody else that could carry that weight, whether he shows up in big moments or not. That's like your talisman. So you will need to bring in like a Chicharito or something of that level uh, to cover that absence. Because who are you expect to pick that up? Pio Alvarado, Angulo? Like, nah, it's not gonna happen. And I'm sure Hierro, he's like, we're letting him leave. Are you bringing me here to export? Or are you bringing me here to build a team and go for a championship? I think the offer would have to be pretty darn good from Europe for them to let him go. I think Hierro might try to convince them, like, hey, if you leave now, you're transferring the middle of the season. It's going to be really hard for you to adapt and finish the season strong. Just stay one more tournament, leave in the summer, and then you have a clean start in Europe.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I know that man. This is the only like I guess silver lining with the World Cup being so late in the year. Like you have the entire month of November. Well, not the entire month, but like mid-November all the way to like mid-December. And then the transfer window opens up, man. Holy shit. Anyone that had a great World Cup, a decent World Cup is going to go like they're gone. I think it's going to be like the perfect timing. I remember when James Rodriguez had that incredible tournament and then he went to Madrid and didn't do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. There's going to be a lot of FOMO, and a lot of teams are going to overpay, and they're going to regret it. That James one was a huge one. They paid what, like 80 million for him or
Yeah.
something like that. Like 40, 50,000 fans went to his presentation, and he fell off. Now he's playing what in like Saudi Arabia or
I don't
something.
even know where he is at. I thought he was at Everton last time I checked, but maybe he's not even there anymore.
Oh no, I think that was like years ago. Right now he is at. Oh no, he's at Olympiacos with Marcelo.
Oh
So
wow.
he's in Greece.
Damn. I had another thing I wanted to talk about the that app. If you're planning going to Qatar, they're gonna force you to download two apps that are meant to track COVID and games, but they can share data, manipulate content, and even override a user's phone software. And it's required for any visitor going into Qatar for the World Cup. How sketchy is that?
That is super sketchy. I have a couple people I know going to the World Cup, and
Oh wow.
uh, I told them this, dude, I don't want you to think I sound like a hater or anything, but I just think it's a waste of time, waste of money. If you want to go like explore Qatar, do it during not the World Cup. Because by the way it sounds, it just looks like you're like the guest visiting someone's home, but they don't want you there. Like you're an unwelcome guest. Like it seems like Qatar just wants the World Cup to show off a stadium, show off like whatever they got to show off to the world. But as far as like the actual experience is like, hey, while you're here, like sit your ass down and shut up. Let us do our thing.
It's like they don't trust you, and I
Yeah,
guess they don't trust people maybe trying to do something probably political, or or using the World Cup to try to like like ugh, been at a loss for words, and I haven't even drank today. Just to promote their agenda, because like what we've seen recently um, with FIFA, and I link it to Mexico. You had this whole thing about the homophobic chant, right? And I kept saying, FIFA's making a big deal about it, but at the same time, they're ignoring the hosts
Yeah.
that where it's like illegal to be homophobic. Um, they throw people out of roofs and whatnot. And they even released. I don't know if you guys saw there's like a poster of things that are not allowed.
There's a lot of things that are not allowed. You can't be like have public affection with your significant other. There's no like gay people allowed there. Like there's like so many ridiculous like no drinking, no like oh you can't show your like your skin. I don't know, dude. It's
yeah, and that's
Yeah,
why I
but
say that I think they are using this just to flex like their infrastructure and stuff like that. Because usually with the World Cup, everyone's excited. When I mean everyone's talking about like from the hotels, the restaurants, the bars,
yeah.
the locals. Like it's gonna be a big party. People are gonna get drunk. They're gonna spend money. They're gonna go to the tourist sites. It's gonna be like a big injection of money into our country. Qatar doesn't need that. They don't need money.
yeah, they,
So it's like
you
we
know,
don't care about your fan
Damn.
experience. We don't care about you having a
they,
good time. We
they
have
needed to
money.
spend money.
Yeah, we don't care about you spending. Like we just need you to come in, behave, enjoy the World Cup, and like go home.
Well, that's why they did that thing. I don't know if you remember they invited influencers to go to the World Cup draw, and I don't think that was FIFA because I don't think FIFA said like I think FIFA ever cares for that. They know they don't need it. You don't need to promote the world. You don't need influencers to promote the World Cup.
Hmm.
It's a huge event. Are you gonna pay people or give them freebies to promote an event that's already very very popular? And I think that's what I think it was Qatar thing, and I think they tried those apps on them. But I do think a part of it was to like, look, you could do this cool shit, kind of throw off the other stuff of the kind of country it is, like just how it's very reserved as far as like you can't drink and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think there's like a hidden agenda going on. I'm very looking forward to the Netflix documentary that's gonna drop first week of November. It's gonna talk about the corruption of FIFA and I mean, talk about perfect timing, right? To drop a documentary right before the World Cup.
They took a play out of Vergara's playbook.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you had Chivas announcing shit during the Liguilla. I'm like, yo, where's the fucking coach at, man? Like, we don't have a fucking coach yet,
They're
and
waiting for the
they're
final,
waiting
man.
for
They're
the
gonna announce it on
final.
Thursday,
They
tomorrow.
already have, dude. I bet they have the coach, the player. They have everything set up for next season already. They bought a package deal, man. They're just gonna rebuild it one piece at a time.
Yeah, they probably do the coach tomorrow and do a player like Sunday during the final.
Chicharito during the final, we'll have like a press conference too.
Oh my
I
dude,
think America.
if that happens, like the shows. They're gonna talk about like a recap of the final because it's Toluca Pachuca, like for 10, 15 minutes, and then go on to Chicharito at Chivas like for an hour.
Oh, 100%. I mean, everybody was all upset about when Hierro was announced, and we were talking more about that than the Liguilla matches. So if Chivas do that, that'd be really funny. But I think it's really hard to keep down a player rumor. I think that's like it's impossible to keep a player rumor down because airports and traveling and all that. Like Torres Nilo,
we
right?
got Chicharito United down. I'm sure we can keep it down. Him back to Chivas.
That was crazy, but that was like 10 years ago. Where in the internet, like it's not like how social media is now, where you can like literally like stream shit. So yeah, it's a little bit different now. It's kind of hard to keep leaks under wraps, but yeah, with the I don't know if I talked about this on the last podcast, probably not, but I was trying to figure out like how did Chivas like get Fernando Hierro, and then somebody asked him during the press conference about his contract with Telemundo for the World Cup because he's one of the color commentators, and they asked him, "Oh, is that going to be like compromising your commitment to Chivas? Are you gonna have to cancel your contract?" And then he said, "No, like I have to honor the contract. Obviously, Amaury already knows about this." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 hold on. So you're telling me that Telemundo already had this dude on the payroll?" And like, oh, now it's starting to make sense. I thought this whole time it was Michele Año pulling the strings, but maybe it was Telemundo, man. Maybe Telemundo's the reason why he's at Chivas.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they have what the Chivas streaming rights in the U.S., right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably like
They have it on a yearly. They're like on a yearly contract.
Yeah, maybe said, hey, look, I know you got offers from other people, but you need a sporting director. You need someone to hit the media hard. So how about we help you with Hierro, and then you just give us auto renewal for next year?
Wait, auto renewal?
Well, you
No,
said on a yearly contract, right?
they have like let's say they did 5 years, but it's like they just renew it every year, and then at the end of that they're gonna renegotiate. So it's kind of like an open contract where Telemundo could be like, you know what, this isn't working. We're late. And I do think, and for me, it's like, well, you need stuff like this to generate, you know, attention and whatnot with the team not being in playoffs. So you need something to keep the fans excited, give them something to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all starting to like make sense now. And I wonder, with Telemundo, obviously they were upset with missing out on Liguilla action because the game was in Puebla, so they didn't get to host any Liguilla matches. I'm sure that hurts TV ratings. I'm sure that hurts the bottom line. So it's in Telemundo's best interest to.
And then Jaime just really quick.
Yeah.
And then it would have been Chivas America, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like it's in their best interest to put money into the club and try to help them as much as possible. And I think with like Vucetich and with Peláez and the ratings and the fans just tuning out of the matches, I'm sure they're like, yo, we got to do something to get these guys back in, back in the winning days. Missing out on a Super Clásico, everybody was waiting for that paycheck. So, we'll see. We'll see how much of influence Telemundo has. We'll see how much of an influence Puma has on getting refuerzos, because obviously Chicharito is sponsored by Puma now, and that he was on a live stream with some racer, right? Some Formula One driver, or what was he? I forget his name. But he's also
told him when are you going to the World Cup?
Are you being serious right now?
Huh?
Or are you trolling?
No, I'm serious. He was on a live stream with like some.
You don't know Checo Perez?
I don't know who he is, bro. I don't fucking
One
watch.
One of the greatest Formula One drivers in Mexican history.
How many Formula One World Series has he won? Whatever the fuck they call these things. How many races has he won, dude?
He's on the championship team with Max. They're both the championship team,
bro. Until like the name Lewis Hamilton
number one. He didn't come in number one, but the man has been killing it for the last year.
I don't watch that shit, dude. I don't watch Formula One.
You probably don't like Checo because he's an America fan, but but I don't know.
I
Well, there you go.
I don't even know who
America
he
has
is, bro. I don't even know who he is.
I can't believe you don't know who Checo Perez is. He's always,
Dude, I don't watch
besides
Formula
the
One,
fact he's an
dude.
America fan, he's always raising the Mexican flag on the podium. Come on.
Oh, good for him. But anyways, he was saying how like, oh yeah, you shouldn't come to Chivas, you should come to America. And then he kind of like looks like, oops, I shouldn't have said that. Like, I don't know if maybe that's like he was kind of just like trolling, but maybe Chicharito is coming to Chivas. I don't know, bro.
He could have been trolling because he also asked him like, "So are you going to the World Cup?" And Checo Perez didn't realize that the 55 list had already been announced.
Oh,
So and Chicha was like, "Oh no, it's not pending upon me." But I guess he didn't want to like make him look bad and say, "Nah, that's been done for. Like it's a wrap."
nah, he was giving him his little like he was like, hey man, like you should be on the list or blah blah blah. He's like, it's not up to me, but we have our number one fan here. We got to add him to the pod, man. This dude's been hiding. He's been ducking. But Ricardo, you're on, man. Maybe he's got his he's too choked up right now. Welcome to the podcast. How we doing?
Very good.
Uh, my internet
Buenas
was
noches
down.
to all
So
you guys.
who won that game against Toluca America?
Well, technically Toluca won, but America beat itself, man.
Yeah.
That's the only way. That's the way I've seen it. Oh, and before we get into that, Jaime,
Yes.
I never duck, man. I'm always here, yellow and blue until I die.
Azul
Uh,
crema. Huh?
And and like you, I don't get this hype about that Checo Perez guy. Like that isn't a sport. He's driving a car, man.
All right. I won't go that far. I won't go that far.
Zero. Like how's that a sport? Like where is he showing as he's an athlete?
They need a lot of neck muscles, man. 200
Oh
miles
no!
per hour.
All right. This is where I disagree with you, man. Because I've been to K1 Speed. You got to go to K1 Speed just to get a little taste of what Formula One racing is. Because you will come out of that sweating with adrenaline, and you're only going like 40 miles an hour tops, but it feels so fast. And it wasn't until then that I had respect for like race car drivers because I can't imagine going 200 miles an hour on a turn. Like you need to like be in really good shape to like go do a race like that. It might not seem like they're an athlete, but I respect what they do. I just didn't know who he was because he's never won anything.
Oh, he's a loser for sure, but
You're an America fan.
well, in that case, he's a winner. But I stand by my statement. Yeah, sure. I'm sure it has its difficulties, but it's not a sport. And you could equate it to like golf, man. No one cares. Just rich people watch it. Well, why do Mexicans out of a sudden just want to watch Formula One just because of this guy? I mean, come on.
Yeah, man. If he was winning championships like Lewis Hamilton, I could see the hype.
Exactly.
But I mean,
But
it's not like I
but
can
we
go
got
out there and do it too. You know, it's not like, oh, I can go out in my backyard and do Formula One. No, you can't. You got to be very, very, very. You gotta be rich.
for sure. Typical like in Mexico, always celebrating, celebrating people for participating instead of winning. But we gotta address the elephant in the room, man.
Yeah.
America,
What
like
happened, bro?
appropriate title, if I say so myself. America choked
Do you
big
think all
time.
those goals against Puebla made you guys overconfident?
No, they're like, hey, we can't use these for this match. We scored 5.
Definitely overconfidence, but yes, I agree. Overconfidence. That's how many goals was it again? You said 11, right?
11 against Puebla, man.
Yeah.
And Chivas couldn't score more than one. So
Oh,
Hey,
it was
but you ended up in the same place.
well, no, America was in Liguilla, man. You guys were in Repechaje.
You ended
Big
with no
difference.
championship.
But we're one on top, man. We're looking down, not up, as I usually say. But if there's two culprits to this, la coladera de mierda, Ochoa,
He's not
and
getting renewed.
hopefully not, man, because that guy is like he's a coladera. I've always said it. I've always maintained my stance on this guy. Just because he has curly hair, and I guess some people find him he's a good looking guy. I guess right, but he's everyone knows his mistakes. Just but what I do find interesting is just people pointing his flaws out. Even though you can go down to every Liga MX team that has a Mexican goalkeeper, they all play exactly like that, man. None of them know how to come out. None of them are shot blockers. It's the same type of player, same type of goalkeeper in every team, man. There's a
Yeah, I mean,
exactly
Ochoa can get a lot of hate, but at the end of the day, America fans have remember you have Fidalgo, pretty much the best player in the league. Henry Martin in crazy form. Your golden boy Lara, who messed up.
Oof.
Mexico's national goalkeeper, who's known as the Wall when it comes to World Cup. But you guys lost to a goal from Torres Nilo.
I don't disagree with you. That guy should be. I didn't even know that guy was still playing.
Neither did I. I thought Torres Nilo was retired doing church or something, and he scored a goal from the chest. I
That
promise.
that that Ochoa ate. I don't disagree with anything you just said, but this guy, he was already limited, but now in his advanced stage, he's lost more than a step, man. Like people try to downplay this, but the guy really cost us this series, man.
Oh, 100%.
I know everyone's gonna like you, like Al Pastor said, Lara, yeah, he fucked up, but he's a young kid, man. He's for his first tournament. I'm not. He definitely has blame in this. But if you dissect that goal too, that penalty he gives up is another thing that just pisses me off about Mexican players in the Mexican league, man. No se hablan. When I seen him trying to give pass the ball back to Ochoa, I wasn't even looking at his feet. I was just looking to see if Osi se hablaban. And as usual, nunca se habla, man. They always fuck up that way. They're trying to give the ball back to Ochoa, and they're lost. There's no sync between them. But I blame Lara there, but this guy, man, there's a serious problem in Mexican football with developing goalkeepers, man. They can block shots as many as you want, like Jurado. That guy became a nobody in Veracruz to get in a big time contract and playing for Cruz Azul, right? But the guy that is the same type of goalkeepers in the league, man. But but the main culprit, another, I blame 50-50 for this, man. La Coladera and El Tano. Like by the end of the game, El Perro Bermudez, I couldn't agree more with him, man. He said, but in Spanish, he said, Nacho Ambriz se lo comió vivo. And it's true, man. The tactics were all wrong. As soon as we were down 2-0, I said to myself, I was like, "Oh, this series is done, man. It's defined." Because, like Al Pastor said, yes, we did score a bunch of goals, and there's a bunch of play. We have a bunch of good players, but the Mexican League, we once you present a team with the bunker, they don't know how to break that. Selección or team wise, this isn't like when Manchester City put the bunker up on Real Madrid in the last Champions League when they came back.
Yeah.
Like those guys are elite players; they can break bunkers. Mexican teams and players they can't do that, man. So I knew it was done once we were down 2-0.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think Ambriz like completely like se lo comió because like at the end of the day, it's the players that play. Like Brian Rodriguez missed a sleeper. Brian Rodriguez scores that goal. It's a wrap. America picks up that momentum. On the other end as well, Fidalgo, I think is his name, for Toluca, he missed like a freaking sleeper, like 85th, 86th minute. That would have been a wrap. If that America goal is not on all sides, the only reason Toluca loses is because Fidalgo missed that sleeper. So now then you ask yourself, did Ambrí se comió a Tano? Not really. It's Fidalgo's fault.
No, no
So
credit.
same
No
thing.
credit for Nacho.
Brian Rodriguez scores that goal. No one's gonna be saying that Ambrí se comió al Tano.
Good point, but we can't go off that, so we got to go off what happened, man. And in the last show, in the last podcast, I was obviously confident, but what I did forget to mention was the Nacho factor, man. You got to keep in mind this guy's been in 4 finals already,
Yes,
and
he gets a lot of hate.
mm-hmm,
And
and
When he returned from Spain,
he's got
everyone's
La
saying
Liga experience now.
he already had it because he coached some games when he was assistant for Aguirre, so he had coached Atletico Madrid games.
mm-hmm, and a lot of people wrote him off because he got a couple of his shots early on in his coaching career. Like he got the Chivas shot right, and the America one, and he
Yeah, and
kind of
I think that I know with Chivas they was unjust because as it always is, they don't let they don't let they don't let you finish your project, which is one thing that we were talking a while back with Jaime when he came back to Toluca and his first season was like whatever. And I was telling him that's the good thing of Toluca. They're not that, they're not quick to push the eject button. They're gonna give him a chance. And this season he got some players. Probably he requested them, and he has the team in the final.
Yeah, but you know
from
what?
Leon.
I also think there's a little bit of classism, racism going on because I have a little group chat with some soccer buddies, and they were watching the game, and someone texted, "Yo, who's this Toluca coach?" I'm like, Nacho Ambriz. He might be like the next Mexico coach. He's like, this is the biggest paisa nopal coach
Oh
I've
my
ever seen in my life.
god.
You know what?
But it
You know
brought up
what?
a good point. But look, it brought up a good point because even all the finals he's been into, everything. If Nacho Ambriz, with the results he's had, if he looked like Tano, if he looked like Buse, if he was like
Matias.
taller and white, I guarantee you he probably already would have been at Selección.
You're right.
Yep.
And I didn't. To me, I was like, I don't know, maybe denial, or I didn't think it was to that extent. 'Cause I know how Mexicans can be and talk a lot of shit, and all times it's just that. But I remember when he got sacked from America, dude. A lot of the comments were just like
Brutal.
pretty much, pretty much your chat group must have been there, dude. It was brutal. It was brutal
Mex-
reading those comments. I was like,
Mexican
damn.
lives matter or no?
Yeah.
But that's the media as well, right there. The brown dude tends to get most of the hate.
Yeah.
You're right, Al Pastor. And uh, I also thought that in regards to Tano, he shouldn't be there anymore, man. Like you just said, if this guy was Mexican and brown looking
What?
like not like
Wait, you don't want him
Nacho,
in the team?
no way. That guy's
He's
he lost, man. No way. America doesn't accept quitters.
he's a
Damn.
really good coach.
No,
He broke
you
records, dude.
send him to Chivas, send him to group, send him to those non-exigente teams, man. America deserves winners.
Oh man, oh.
Hey, Joel, they set up the whole team just for him, man.
Well, they did good. I mean, that's the thing about Liguilla, you know.
He
You know.
shrunk,
Hey,
man.
but this is karma. You know why this is karma for you America fans? Because you had Turco who kept you líderes generales de la tabla. He won you the championship, but America had already done a deal with Matosas before Liguilla started. And when Turco won that Copa with America, he went, packed his stuff the next day. Media was waiting for him, and he said, "Yo les dejo la Copa, pero me llevo mi dignidad." And that is karma for you guys. The guy who had you super deleted, won you the cup. You already had him on the way out before the Liguilla was even over.
Wait, was that
Was
when Pelaez sacked him? Because I
Yeah,
know
that was
Pelaez
with
sacked him.
Peláez back then.
Yeah, but he brought it on himself because this guy would lose games like a Clásico,
and
and
he'd
then
leave.
he'll take off to Argentina. Wouldn't even tell people, hey, I
Hey,
gotta
but
go
he had
do
a team
something.
winning. He had a team
Doesn't
winning.
matter, but he's still disrespecting a lot of the people there that are in
Yeah.
charge. And it's like, there's people above you, and if he's not showing them respect, um, and he admitted to that later on when they asked him if he would work with Pelias, and he said he would. But you could read into that like all the stuff he would do, and it was like I don't know, man. Maybe he got like thought himself a bit too much right there, where
He was full of himself. That's what happened. But
yeah, and I
but
mean, and right,
I must admit, Joel, that was one of my when he won that final, when he made those Tigres, when he porked Tigres 3-0 in La Azteca. Oh man, estaba bien castroso yo, man. No one can support me around here, man. But hey,
he
but Al Pastor, I gotta you that's a good point you brought up, but you gotta keep in mind, man, this is at the same time when Matosas was coming off that bicampeón León, man. Everyone wanted that guy.
Yeah, everyone wanted him, but you had someone. You didn't have someone that put you in Liguilla like in fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth place. He put you in Liguilla in first, and the team obviously believed in him. You could say that he disrespected Pelas, Yon de Luisa, but obviously the team did not feel disrespected because they kept working their butt off. They kept winning, and they won the whole championship through Liguilla. So as far as like that's the whole part of that's what gives you results on the field. As long as the coach and the players are on the same page and they're striving towards the same result. So you
yeah,
as a
but I
fan, what do you want? Your coach and your directivos having a great relationship but no championships, or your coach and your players getting along? Maybe the directivos not so much, but you're winning championships.
yeah, but
Yeah,
you're taking away credit from Directiva as far as they're the ones building the team.
yeah,
Uh, this guy didn't build the team from scratch, and you have America that continue to be in first place and fight for the title even without him. So
So then, why get rid of Tano then? They built Tano a good
I don't
team.
think they're
Tano
gonna.
Bro,
broke a lot of
fracasó.
records
That's
with
why, man.
America.
I don't think they're
He
gonna
got
get rid. Did they
he
fire
got
him?
pretty darn close to it. It seems like it was a learning experience.
Wait, did they fire him, or is this just
They're,
Ricardo saying?
He's
no, they're gonna keep him, but
Well, they should. I mean, he's a really good coach.
no way, man.
What do we
Fracasó
know?
dos veces. The guy's a loser, man.
Dude, I don't think so,
Send him
man.
the Chivas.
Eres un estúpido.
Send him the Chivas.
I would take him. Dude,
I
he's a
would
really
take.
good coach, man.
Uh,
Yeah, man. You
Smoke and
almost
mirrors,
after
man.
sending us that, heap of trash that was
dude, just
Oribe, dude.
a week ago, people are saying he should be seleccionado.
I still believe that Jaime. If he had won, he would have been candidate.
The moment
Um,
Now,
was too big for him, man.
now they're talking about the winner of this final. Almada and
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 Nacho
Nacho.
should be, but like I think Ricardo said, there is that like classism, so he might get overlooked, man. It's
I
like dude,
think he
Nacho
is,
needs to
and a
win more.
lot more people
He,
want Almada.
Oh, I think Almada's a bad choice. I like him as a coach, but he has a little bit of La Volpe in him. If you see the games, man, he's always screaming at those young Mexican players specifically that mess up. And Mexican players, they don't like being screamed at. They don't like being told to train. They need to be coddled, man. And that guy's the wrong guy for that job.
I
I
think
like him as a coach, though.
I would like
And
him
he's also
because he would
lost his
be
finals.
he would be calling players that were relevant, man, and that's what we need.
Who
you
knows? Once
wouldn't
you get
want
to that
Nacho,
point,
Jaime.
What's that?
You wouldn't want Nacho.
Either one would be great. I do.
I don't know. I think Nacho would focus more on older players.
You gotta have a little bit of both, but
Not Nacho who brought um was that Marcel Ruiz
Yeah, but look at
reviving his
Almada. Like
career.
his teams have all been like a great mix of youth and
Ah,
experience.
but he's at Pachuca.
And
That's
then
always gonna be
usually like a
Pachuca.
Ferretti man, he took like older guys and that's it.
But
That's
but
experience.
because of the teams he's been in, I don't think he's had. Because look, where did JJ Mack flourish?
Leon.
Yeah, but
And
who
it
was
was
like the
under
guy who
him.
was like the main dude there? Who wasn't like I can't remember his name, Meneses or whatever.
He still had the youngster playing, and they brought him in as kind of like backup. They didn't take him as their starting player. This guy had very little experience. They just took him and he put him because he saw something in him and he gave him the shot.
That's true. That is true.
He they didn't take JJ Mack because they needed, they figured he would be a good asset and if he could break into it, and he did, and he flourished. But I do see. I think he gets a bad rap, dude. I think Mr. Nacho Man, he's been getting a bad rap, and I think even if he wins, I don't think he's gonna get. They're gonna start talking about. They always mention Bielsa and a couple others. They, they're gonna they're gonna start mentioning the extranjeros. I think poor Nacho's not gonna get a shot, man.
Yeah. So who do you guys have for this final? I mean, the final that nobody really cares about
Why do people keep saying that?
because
it doesn't matter.
there's no fans, bro.
What do you mean there's no fans? Pachuca has like 67 fans in the Rancho. Toluca has.
And 30 are going to show up.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know any like Pachuca or Toluca fans, and I have family in Toluca, and
I
they're
mean,
you
but I
know?
think that's what makes it an attractive final. It's like a neutral final. Like you don't hate a specific team. You just want a good game, and both
Oh,
teams
I hate
should give
both
you a good
teams.
game.
I
I think
hate.
from a neutral perspective,
I'm not
Why do you
it
hate
neutral.
should be a great
Toluca?
game.
I hate Toluca for everything that they did to me when I was 10 years old, man. In the
Damn.
in the early 2000s, bro, we were always their little freaking doormat, man. Like
What are you, an America fan?
no, a Chivas fan, bro.
That happened. That happened to
That
them
happened
too.
to everybody.
I know, but still,
Yeah.
it was painful for me to watch Chivas go
That-
in there and
that-
get destroyed by
that-
Cardoso.
Super chorizo, man. But hey, wasn't
And
it?
they're getting a little bit too close to Chivas as far as titles go. So
See, that's why you guys are mad at Alexis. But you know what? Chivas win. They won a title in their stadium.
yeah, it was the
That's
greatest
that's
revenge. I
it
cried that
was,
day.
dude. They're
I'm a man.
finally
I'm a
winning.
man up and say I cried when Buffalo scored, bro. That was an emotional roller coaster. But I hate Pachuca for other reasons too, man. Like when we got stripped out of all of our players that had to go to with the World Cup, and we had an incredible run in Liguilla with like Chato and all these kids, and then we're about to go to the final, and then what happens, and Pachuca scores that last minute goal.
No, dude, the Libertadores run, but that was La Volpe when he took all the Chiva players to Confederaciones.
It was
And
05 and
he,
06, but
he only played like three of them, and the other ones he
yeah.
just had them in the bench.
And then we lost the Conca Champions final to them. So yeah, I got hate for Pachuca. I hate both teams, but
I don't
Pachuca
know.
has.
I figure I rather go with Toluca. With that,
Same.
also I don't like how Pachuca calls themselves El Equipo de Mexico or whatever. Like nah, they're always.
They've been trying to. You can't blame them. I mean, they've been trying to.
Their owners or the founders were Cornish miners, right? That's what they were.
Yeah, it was one of the oldest teams, so it could be first or second oldest. Not sure yet, because the oldest teams are more likely to be on the coast, on
But
the ports, like Veracruz and all that. Like where, so I think Orizabal, I think, is the one that could.
Orizaba, Montezuma.
but
Yeah, I
you know
think
what's the
there's one.
thing though? We all wish Chivas was ran like Pachuca.
I
From
don't.
the,
Or
no,
Grupo Orlegui.
from the youth systems, how they manage their youth systems, how they do a good mix of older players and youth players, how the directivas always thinking outside the box, so like with the Hall of Fame, and they've had like notable players come to those Hall of Fame ceremonies. Like they're always like thinking one step ahead. You know, on the
They did.
feminine team, they brought that player from Barcelona, so they're like always thinking like outside of the box, how they can be better. They just don't have the fan draw attraction
But she
that
was
other
did
teams.
had good when Vergara first took over, and he had a committee there with Nestor and Juan Jose Franchi, Ibar Cisniega, and the doctor, I forget his name, the famous doctor.
Ortega.
Yeah, but it all fell off.
There you go. We were just talking about him last week. I keep forgetting shit. But let me tell you, because Chivas had at that point the best cantera, and when they won the league, they won it with a good chunk of
Yeah,
canteranos.
but Pachuca has consistently had a good cantera from Guti Gutierrez, Chucky Lozano, Pizarro fell off.
No, I know,
I
but
mean,
see,
right
this is
now
what
Kevin
happened.
Alvarez, Eric Aguirre.
I know, but see, they ended up getting rid of of the people that because and we mentioned this last week.
And that's what I'm saying. I wish
Chivas
Chivas
had
was ran by
Hans.
Pachuca.
They had Hans, and they had Efrain Flores. They both worked at Chivas, and they let them go, and they ended up at
Yeah,
Pachuca.
but you right now you sound like a 34-year-old guy talking about when he played varsity in high school. It doesn't matter what we did in the past. We're talking about now.
No, because it does matter because you're saying we need, and I'm saying, dude, we were just like that. I'm saying the problem is that they let go a lot of the people. A lot of Chivas, a lot of my Chiva hermanos, they hate Nestor, dude. He was part of the architect that did all of that, and they got rid of him twice. So it's like you keep getting rid of people that have been at the club for a long time, have brought success to the club, and then you're wondering why the team sucks, or you're pulling players from Europe, or you know, it's like always looking for answers when we've always had them at home. And I'm telling you, teams been very successful with what they've had right there, but somehow we always end up thinking that it's not good enough. And it's, dude, the results are there. You know, we can't, we shouldn't. I don't know, man. We downplay them. Look how vilified Güero Real gets. And Güero Real took Chivas to a Libertadores final, and I see how people talk about him, and it's like, damn, dude, you you would think this guy got the team relegated. Not only did he take the team to the final, he debuted the most canteranos and some of the better players Chivas has had, and that dude gets massive hate, massive. Like it's crazy to read, and you know he managed to do some good stuff, man. He beat Barcelona and Man U. I know we're friendlies, but he still beat them, and it's better
Yeah,
than
I never
losing to them.
understood that. I always felt Güero Real could have been our Sir Alex Ferguson. Like he was just part of the institution, and you could tell he cared about it and getting the results.
He said that
Yeah,
he didn't want to be a coach though.
yeah, they kept dragging him there. they, see, that's part of the management, like Chivas. Once they got rid of a lot of the people that were football, and there was Vergara, and then there was Angelica and other people that are business people doing all the decisions, and then they got rid of pretty much everyone worth a damn. You know, they kind of
Doesn't
like promote.
but doesn't that speak to incompetent owners?
Yes, yes, it
Um,
does.
I mean,
Which
Alba
goes
just
to
said,
my point. I wish we were ran like Pachuca.
and if you take into account, Pachuca owns Leon, right? And
Yep.
who's running Leon? His Pachuco's son, and I mean, everyone would agree that guy's done a pretty good job with Leon, right? 3 titles and no how many years, including a bicampeonato. Like this, no one's paying attention to this, but every team has a hijo de papi owner. Even America, he's a hijo de papi. He inherited the team. Even the Toluca guy, the guy's a fossil, but he inherited the team too.
Oh wait, that dude had to. He didn't actually. You talking about America? Cause that's some
Yeah.
Game of Thrones shit. Oh, that's some Game of Thrones shit. I got mad respect for that dude because
Mm-hmm.
they did not leave the team to him.
And it.
As
Mm-hmm.
Azcárraga Jean, I think. So his cousin is Burrillo Azcárraga. His cousin was at Atlante, but it was some. I don't know if you guys see Game of Thrones, but it was some
Yes.
massive shit going on back there because um, the dad left the team in charge of the Cañedos. So that's around the time that they changed the name of Estadio Azteca to Estadio Guillermo Cañedo, and it was the Cañedos they were trying to take over all of that. And this dude masterminded, and and he managed to like take control of everything. And his cousin ended up helping him. And I don't know exactly what happened because became very tragic for Burrillo because he ended up like not being in football because he was like super involved. He was more involved than Azcárraga Jean.
Mm-hmm.
He had a company called Soccer Dos Mil, and Soccer Dos Mil used to promote. They used to like they kind of did what some does in the U.S., but it was Soccer Dos Mil, and he had that. He built the Centro Pegasus, which is the car now, is known as the car where
Hmm.
the Selección plays. He's the dude that brought in Chucho when the under 17 wins. He paid out of pocket to have an under 15 team, and so this dude did a bunch of stuff. He ended up doing a lot of stuff to help, and then after the whole takeover thing around that time, which is around the same time when Mex is going to some and all that, he just kind of disappears, man. And then it kind of tragic because I think he ran over his son, dude, on a boat.
Oh,
Like, yeah, they're saying he was
Damn.
driving drunk. Yeah, he was driving drunk and his kids fell and then he turned the boat to try to like pick him up and I think he ended up hitting one of them and died and pretty tragic. But you guys could look up the whole Azcárraga Cañedo, Google that shit. It's crazy. It's crazy all the shit that went on there and this dude this dude ended up having to get the power back.
I don't want to see that whole. I'm already upset that America lost, man.
But this is an uplifting story, dude. Azcárraga
For
Gene.
sure. No, but what I'm getting at is that you guys have a dumb owner. The guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Oh man, I have to agree with that.
It's rough.
I have I have to agree because I think he came into Chivas in a bad deal and he came in with everything being bad with Higuera was still there and he was like a vampire. He was like in cahoots with Angelica and they were stealing from the team. He had lawsuits from Profeco, which is like the consumer report or consumer rights. But in Mexico, it's Profeco, which they started fining Chivas over the streaming. And there's talk that it was Televisa that was like sort of like using their influences to get
I was about
Profeco
to
to
say,
fuck with them.
do you think like the networks put him up to that? Because
I do think so.
they did this whole like
I,
show about like going to the stadium and saying that it was gonna be like closed and all that.
oh, they did. They took over it. They owe money. So like if they don't pay going into next season, they can't use the stadium and go play in Jalisco. But yeah, they did that, man. They pretty much put Chivas on blast, saying these dudes haven't paid what they owe.
Dang.
Speaking of who hasn't gotten paid, America hasn't gotten paid from Porto.
Yeah. Muertos de hambre, man. Those guys.
It just shows some of these Euro teams they're not as they don't have as much money as we like to think.
And we still want to send these fools to Europe? Shit.
Porto and Independiente owes America like $6 million, man. Those
Sheesh.
guys should disappear at any moment because they're in Argentina.
Well, that's true, man. We laugh, but it's true. Their inflation right now is crazy. Some picture was making the rounds of
They'll pay you in
like
Quilmes.
that they went to a restaurant and they showed how much money you had to pay now, and it was like stacks of money because the value has their currency has devalued so much now.
You see,
So
like
it's like
La Volpe lately, he was like, "Hey," they're all making fun of him for like coaching in Mexico. Like, dude,
oh
I got a better life
no
than
no they
y'all.
used to call him yeah they used to call him Mexicanito. He said
Mm-hmm.
he said you think that's insulting me? He's like dude right
He's like,
there might as well
I
just
was at
started throwing money, dude.
I was at Chivas getting hand jobs for free.
This guy was making it rain right there. Like no, they knew, man. They were just quiet. It was just I think some of the fans because they'll talk shit. They'll say anything to try to get under your skin.
There was a sound clip that I wanted to play in regards to Osvaldo Sanchez and Angel Reina. Yeah, so that just dropped like today.
Damn.
And obviously Angel Reina doesn't have the best reputation. He was a problem child at a lot of different organizations. At one point nobody wanted him. So like how much of that do you think is true? But then also on the flip side, you do have Osvaldo Sanchez who has no back, no character, and he was begging like Honduras to like stop scoring goals on Mexico. So
Hmm.
you have two just like it's interesting. I think there's truth in this. What do you guys think?
There may be truth, but nothing's gonna come about it. This guy, like you said, Reina, he has a shit reputation. If he wanted this to be taken serious, he should have said it at the time.
Yeah, that's true. But it goes to show, man, like a lot of the time there's some shady shit going on in Liga MX.
Hmm. Or like you said, that guy Oswaldo, man. I mean, aside for being a pecho frío, I mean, es un mañoso.
Yeah, I think it's a possibility. I don't know if it's true or not. Like Ricardo's saying here, it is Ricardo, right? Um, he has a really bad rep um, from just from like even how he ended his career. Like no teams wanted him, and he was a very talented player. Like he should have had a better career than he did, and so it's kind of sad, you know. He's always involved in stuff. You hear all these rumors about him that he used to take carry a gun, you know, with him, stuff like that. So it's crazy, but I do think it's a possibility, man, that they asked him to throw the game. He tried to say something else. I forgot what, but then he never showed receipts because I think he was trying to say that they were like charging them to play or something like that. I don't know if you guys remember.
Charging players to play?
Yeah, he was saying something like that, but he never showed receipts. So what I mean, what's the
There was
point of?
like in the cantera, you mean?
No, I forgot. This dude's, he's talked shit
Prepares to
before.
debut.
And I think just to get playing time,
Oh,
kind of while they were doing to Hugo, that he would charge you a percentage. But it's like people are saying it, but at the same time, no one had receipts. No one had what, a text message, a recording, nothing. So then it's just your word against theirs. And I mean, if someone's doing something like that to me, it's so easy to record them now, you know, or to just kind of
We paid
catch him like
we
asking
paid
you.
3.56 million for him. Wow.
And he was getting paid top dollar too.
I actually
He
have
was
a
one of the
story with him. Well, not story, but it's very brief. I went to go see Chivas America at the El Acron or whatever. And we actually like our we had a palco, so we had a suite. We got to park under the state.
day.
We got to park under the stadium, which
Jaime just showing off at this point.
is
You
we
also you had a chopa maruchan. You ate a sopa maruchan. What else?
no, we got to park under the stadium, which I thought was very cool. And after the game ended, we see him in the parking lot. He didn't play. He wasn't even on the bench or anything. He was just in like civilian clothing. But he was
Oh,
like he was just walking around and every now and then like
it's
a like
probably
like a fan would like, "Hey, can I take your photo?" And he'd be like, "No." And like he did that like the whole time and like I'm not gonna even bother like asking for a photo with this guy. But yeah, we saw him like in the parking lot under the stadium and he was just like being an asshole to everybody. I'm like, wow, what a piece of
he's
shit.
trying to sell his mixtapes from the back of his trunk.
Yeah. Thought that was very interesting though. That's my only experience with him.
and that's unfortunate. Everything about him because he's a he's one of the rare few cases of like players coming from the second division and being successful in the first division of Mexico, because that's rarely seen nowadays, or even at the time when he was playing.
Was San Luis in the
Yeah, it's
second
very,
division?
very.
Yeah. No, that when he was starting off, who was he with?
It says San Luis.
Don't don't matter, but he started.
Two, 2005 to 2007 San Luis, then Necaxa, then San Luis again, and then America.
Yeah.
But I think I do remember like San Luis getting promoted, and then they went to a final, right?
Yes, they did. But I'm forgetting who they played.
I'm
Because
forgetting
who
if
cares about San Luis?
I'm forgetting if San Luis and America had the same owner.
So I don't know
They
about
did.
that, but
They ran the club for a while.
I did get distracted on the whole Toluca thing, and I looked up when the Toluca owner sold Grupo Modelo to AB InBev here in the U.S., and they got like 20 billion off that sale. He's ranked number 10 and Mexico's richest. Guess where Amaury's ranked?
5?
83.
200.
Huh?
Dude, five. No, they're
83.
not.
You said how?
Nowhere near five.
Wait, how much?
Uh, 83rd position of top riches in Mexico.
Yeah, well, it's only life. I mean, you don't really hear.
But is
I
he?
think
He's in the
The
billions, right?
Toluca guy's 10th place. Amaury's in 83rd.
I thought they're in the billions from OmniLife.
Yeah, but think about it.
Have you ever
You have
seen
like
OmniLife products?
one of the biggest teams in the country, and your owner's not even like top 50 wealthy. No wonder they can pump money
They
into it.
never had top 50 owner. I mean, that's and I talked about this last week. I was saying how Chivas ownership is not even top five money in Liga MX. So how do you expect the team to be top five
Because
when they don't even
the
have the?
brand itself,
Yeah, but the brand
I think
doesn't
they're
bring
flooding
that
money
money.
from Chivas into
The,
OmniLife to keep it
even
afloat.
if you used all the money, you still can't compete with them
I think they're
because you.
keeping OmniLife afloat. I've never seen anybody in the U.S. drink OmniLife. I've seen them during
I
Herbalife.
I know, but even if you used up all that money, it's still not a lot, dude. It's still not a lot.
That's what I'm
10
saying.
million.
Chivas is keeping OmniLife afloat. There's money laundering going on there.
I don't, I don't know, but I'm saying even if they used all that money, they still wouldn't crack top five. They're not because these companies are these. I mean, these teams, their companies are just that much richer, you know. So that's I think where all the
That's my point.
Chihuahuanos get
They
it
would need
wrong.
new
Ooh.
ownership.
Or they would need
Someone
like
who's depending
Slim,
on
dude.
Chivas to pay their
But
company bills.
They would need like a
Slim
Slim.
has no clue about running a team, Joel. That's why he
No,
sold
I know, but
Well,
half of
speaking
Oviedo
about
to
Formula
Pachuca.
One, you know Slim has a fuerzas básicas of Formula One, right?
No, I don't.
He has like a bunch of drivers under his name, all young guys, 17 to 21, and he pays for all their stuff, and he's always looking like for the next Formula One star.
well,
Checo Perez got a big connection from him. That's
Damn.
his thing. That's his passion. His passion is F1. That's why he hasn't gotten involved with soccer because that's his sport.
well, he was for a while, right? And there was
With Leon.
he was having Elias Ayub, who
Yeah,
was just
but I mean, he's
running.
willing to invest, but right now he's heavy on Formula One.
I think with Chivas because he has the TV station, the Claro, so that's where it would help benefit him.
Yeah.
But I think the stadium's always been the nobody wants to buy that stadium, dude.
That big toilet bowl.
that's that's sort of the eyesore, dude. That's what's kept the team from being sold. So I know it's been, you know, there's been like offers and whatnot.
Well, I don't think it's going to be sold. I mean, the rumor is that in his will, Vergara left that the team cannot be sold. If Amaury doesn't want it, it moves on to next of kin.
What?
Yeah, and I think they want to sell it. I think those are.
Yeah, so
I think
Amaury cannot
Amari's the
sell the
only
team.
one,
Like
but I
it's like
think he's
that's
the
why
only
his
one that.
sister and all that they're all involved in decision making because technically they all do have like a say. He just has like the biggest percentage. but he cannot sell the team. It just stays within the family. That's what Vergara wanted. And apparently, the other
Wait,
thing was no foreigners.
Oops, you already broke that.
Hey,
You mean
that
like
boy,
foreign investment or foreign players?
foreign-born players.
Oh, well, I mean,
born.
yeah, we're good. We haven't broken that one yet.
Nah, it's broken.
I I think Amari's the only one that doesn't want to sell. I think the family does want to sell, and I think that's been also the big the hurry from Angelica to get her kids wrapped up in that because
They want
she
some
wants some
cash.
of that. Yeah, she wants some of that too, man. It's a mess, dude. It's pretty messed up what's going on at Chivas back at the front office.
Her daughter goes to a school in Maine that's like $50,000 a year. I think she's okay on money.
Yeah.
I know, but she wants more, dude.
You can never have too much money. And Ho, didn't you say these guys, the Vergara, he stole the team from the Socios, right?
He,
So
he, I didn't say that.
the balls on this guy. He won't sell a team that he stole.
I didn't say that. Oh.
You insinuated it
No, I think
that
the
they used the
socials.
Televisa money to pay off the Socios, right?
No, that was never me, man. And I've been keeping. I'll tell you what happened. This is my this is my take. Um, Not all the socials sold, but the majority sold. So he was able to buy the team, and then I think a lot of the socials were involved with the whole Pemex. So the promotora that ran the team, they had contract with Pemex to do the lubricants. That's where you get it was Mexlube, so that was the main sponsor. If you remember, the jersey from back then had Mexlube and it had Pemex on the side. And there was some shady shit going on where they eventually there was lawsuits and whatnot, and it was to the point where they had the contract with Chivas for like 10 years, and when Vergara came to buy the team, um, he even paid off that last year, right? He paid off that last year so he could take over the team. And I'm like, wait, why are the socios so willing to leave? Because Vergara did say he used that Televisa money to pay them off. And that's here's the thing that I've told my friend because he likes uh, another Americanista, Ron, he likes to say he swindled them. But it's like not really because these socios had they gotten the had they gotten the TV money and as socios they would have to reinvest it in the club, so they weren't going to be able to keep it. This way they got to keep that money. So I know some BS was going on, and they all just like rats, dude, giving a sinking ship. They all left. Very few social stay, and they've been suing the club. They sued it for years, man. I think they finally gave up. Um, but not. I don't think he's. I don't think he stole it. I do think, but I do think all the socials they sold. I do think they were crooked because they had like 10 years. They had 9 years to like supposedly put the team back on float, and they never did. Like there was no money there, so it's like, what were these guys doing? You know,
They sold their own team out, right?
they did, dude. They was messed
You'll
up.
never catch an Americanista sellout, America. Never.
But you guys don't have socials, dude. You just have that one owner.
Exactly. And I thank God every day for it, man.
But no, but imagine if you owned a piece of a club, would you be willing to sell it? Like, and not just any club, like historic club, would you let go of that? I'm like, damn, dude, I'm taking that to the grave. You know, like you,
I would
and you
have
won't even
socios,
know where
hold
they.
somebody accountable. Madrid has socios.
Yeah, they do. But imagine if some bullshit happened where they would all be like, fuck it, let's sell your share. But these dudes are generational, man. They just pass it down.
Yeah, but you also like with them to avoid that they set a standard where you need like a certain amount of money to become a socio.
Yeah, but like where you own where you own an actual part of the club as opposed to you're just like a season ticket holder, right? So
Correct.
America had that thing, the Socio Águila, Socio Huila, but
Mm-hmm.
you didn't really own the team. You just got what you get: balloons, stickers. With Ricardo, did you ever buy into that? What they send
No,
you a birthday card?
I'm afraid I didn't, but it's better than being lied to like your owner does to you, man.
He- you know, I think eventually, because they do need to do something, if they were to put the team in the stock market, and then I think they could probably make good money. People would start buying shares of Chivas. I could see myself owning some of that.
Well, history would be bound to repeat itself, and you guys would sell it off again, man.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. If Chivas was on the stock market, we'd probably be a penny stock. Because
Oh
Nah,
shit!
come
Hey,
on, dude.
no, I know. I'm gonna tell you why.
Chivas,
Manchester
Chivas.
United,
Dogecoin.
Manchester United is on the stock market, and they're like $13 a share.
Yeah, but they don't own their stadium. I don't think.
Yeah, but they're still $13 a share. Manchester United, one of the most
I am a Manchester United
revenue
stockholder. How dare you?
generating. So I'm just saying, if United's at 13, Chivas is gonna be what, like a $1, two?
Nah, dude. I don't think it would ever happen though because it would require Chivas to be transparent about their finances, and that's never gonna happen.
Why not?
Go in general.
Cause the money's sketch, bro. You follow the paper trail in Mexico, it leads to places you don't want to know about.
That's Veracruz.
Uh, Omni Live a sketchy
Well,
Omni
that dude's
Live
back.
warehouse.
That dude's back. I don't know if you guys remember.
Holy Cootie, I seen it on
He
Twitter.
just got let. He just got out of jail.
Nice. I want him to be back, dude. I miss that personality. He was funny.
Yeah, I miss that team, man.
He was a piece of
What
shit, but he
team?
was funny.
The team where they didn't pay the players for like a year.
Not
It's,
that part,
it's
but
the
the
soup
team in
kitchen.
general, man.
I don't know, man.
I'd rather have them than Querétaro.
That team's been a shit show for years, dude.
Crappy team, violent fan base, owner that
Yes.
doesn't play his players.
Exactly.
Wait,
That's why they
I like the
lost
violent
like
part.
Veracruz was
a year in
violent.
a row.
Yeah, dude. They were that type of fights going on there.
But they had a passionate fan base, man. A lot of these other teams is just manufactured. Querétaro, Mazatlan.
Mazatlan for sure. Yeah.
Come on, man. Like who? If not them, then who are you gonna bring up? You can't bring up anyone from the second division because your stadium doesn't meet the right criteria, right? So,
Leones Negros, only team.
or, yeah, just Leones Negros.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. Do you guys hear what Schneider had to say about Edson Alvarez?
Hater, man.
Talking hella shit about Edson Alvarez, man. He's like, oh, they should have sold him. All he does is pass sideways and backwards.
Well, he didn't lie about that because Mexican players, that's all they do. You never see them. You never see them do vertical passes, man. If they do, it's un pelotazo, like a lob, just like Chivas does.
He said they could have sold him and they could have bought two better players for the amount that Chelsea were offering, which is about 50 million.
I agree. No, I'm not saying agree. I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, he's criticizing Edson for something he's not. Edson is not a number 5 like Tony Cruz, Conte, Busquets. He's a Casemiro, man. He's just a guy who's gonna clean up the dirty work, help the center backs, and he's gonna depend on the other midfielder with him to do the attacking, to do the controlling.
Dude,
The
50 million? Seriously?
same way he feels about Edson, I feel about Nene. Everyone puts all like hypes Nene out. Nene cannot generate game flow. He cannot like control the game, set the tempo, like something like a Victor Guzman would do. Marcel Ruiz. Same thing with Edson. Edson, dirty work, help the center backs, destroy the opposing attack, but he's not going to set the pace of the game. He's not going to give you through balls. He's not going to do any of that. In that sense, yeah, Wesley's right, but Edson has never been that player. So why are you criticizing him for that?
Because he's Mexican.
Yeah, tell your coach, tell your owner to get a center attacking mid if that's what you want.
Did they really offer 50 million though?
They did.
Yeah,
My
Chelsea.
Damn.
Newcastle didn't they? They
No, I
offered
think it was
50
Chelsea.
million.
Chelsea.
No,
So
I
then
read somewhere that Newcastle offered too.
they must feel confident then that after the World Cup they could get even more.
Well, they had also let like 3-4 guys go, and this came in like right at transfer deadline.
Yeah.
No, they did get 100
Yeah,
million for Anthony.
but
The guy in Manchester United, the
Mhm.
Brazilian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that offer for Edson came in like 15 days before the deadline. They would have taken it and used those 15 days to look for somebody else.
Yeah, I think Edson was like a non-negotiable. Like they weren't gonna allow him to leave because they were gonna lose too many
dude,
players.
50 though, 50.
And you know what? Ended up being the
You
best.
do know you don't think it could drop. The value could drop.
It ended up being the best decision ever for them not to sell him because the coach got fired like short after that. Chelsea's coach. So I mean, he would have probably
Oh yeah, for Edson, we have
Tuchel.
been benched.
he would have been
Yeah, but
benched.
Ajax is also doing booty in Champions League. I mean, I think they're out, so I'm sure Edson lost some value there as well.
Yeah, but he'll be fine. He'll be in the World Cup. He's one of their best players right now. So
Well, I'm not talking about being fine. I'm talking about getting that type of cash, man. It's not, for Mexican players especially.
the only thing I will say is I swear to God, like the most frustrating thing to watch about Liga MX are the back passes and the lateral passes.
Exactly, Jaime. Exactly.
It makes me want to gauge my eyes out. Like, what's that Greek guy that like had to stab his own eyes out? I forgot his name.
Medusa?
No, he had to like, is it Oedipus? No, it's not Oedipus. Yeah, it is Oedipus.
It's making me do homework, Jaime.
I don't know. All I'm saying is like it's just it's so frustrating.
No, but keep in mind though, if you're comparing to like Europe when they usually play at night or colder temperatures, and then you
No.
got Liga MX sometimes where it's hot. It's
You're
usually
like, hey, I still got
warmer,
my beer in my
hotter,
hand. Can we take a few passes back?
I disagree, Cole. You watch
Why?
some of these Argentina games or Brasileirao games?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they play at night.
Yeah, no,
Check what time they play.
for sure, but still, you just can't blame it all on the weather and the temp and the
But you
and the
But you
time, man.
can't do it.
That's a pathetic excuse, man. How are you gonna blame the weather that they play that way, dude? Come on, dude.
It because it affects, man. It affects. If it's hot, it's harder to keep tempo.
This
It's
is
harder
why
to play.
Mexico's so mediocre because we have excuses for everything.
Nah, dude. Look at World Cup '94. It was one of the hottest World Cups, and teams that were, a lot of teams ended up looking like they were playing at half gas because of just how hot it was. And I don't know with Qatar, keep an eye out for this too because it's gonna be hot and they moved it to their winter, but I think it's still gonna be it might still be hot during I don't know some
Bro,
games. I guess they're gonna have to play them at earlier.
do you know how much
Oh,
money Qatar spent on this World Cup?
okay, but I bet you it's gonna be a talking point. Watch,
200 billion.
guarantee that's a piss in the ocean for them, dude.
They spent 200 billion to host the World Cup, bro.
And those stadiums look nice, man.
Those benches are gonna air condition your balls, bro. You're gonna have like the massage thing on the.
A massage.
You're gonna get like the little massage chair with the freaking.
He's-
And our Mexican players are gonna love it because they're used to sitting on the bench like Linus. He's like, oh shit, these are some nice benches.
Oh yeah, that's it. Had to sneak that one in, Jaime.
Well, I guarantee you guys though. I think watch the weather is gonna be a talking point.
I don't think so. I think they got it down. If you're spending 200 billion on a World Cup, your stadiums are gonna be air conditioned and they'll be all right. I don't think any of them are like open. Like the ceiling opens up. Anyways, folks, we're almost at the 2-hour mark. I do want to get your closing thoughts before we wrap up this episode 355. We'll start with our number one fan. Sorry that America lost, but You have to admit, bro, I was right. I called it out.
You're not sorry, man. Come on.
He's right. He's right about that.
And Joel too, man. I can sense your anti-Americanismo, man.
Well,
I
cause
sense
from
it.
Chivas, but I had America when we talked about who was our favorite to win. I had America as favorites, and I even had the coach as candidate if he wanted number one candidate take over the national team.
For sure. But hey, but did you guys see that? I don't know if you guys talked about how that guy, El Pecho Frio de Vega, he was celebrating the Toluca one.
We did talk
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
they just got
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
man, what a mercenary! But keep applauding him, man.
I don't,
Yeah. Don't. Yeah, you're making me angry before I go to bed, man. We had already we had already talked about this earlier, but yes, it does. It does bother me.
No, but congratulations to them, man, because that owner last season he was in last place. He said no more. He invested because a lot of people don't keep it in account. Like Al Pastor said, this guy's very rich, and a lot of people when they think of Toluca, they don't think about being a rich team. But this guy's got a lot of cash, man. He's just been kind of frugal with it. But
well, yeah,
he didn't like his team being in last place. He he gave Nacho his pieces, and now he's in the final again, man. Otro año y Toluca tiene América de sus perras, man.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So who you got for the final? Toluca or Pachuca?
I already underestimated Toluca and Nacho specifically because this guy, like I said, he's been in those finals and he's been in the back. He experienced that nasty own goal final that they lost to Tigres, and he was disgusted with himself after that too. So he kind of applied that to to America. He gave him a little. He took Tano in the semifinal. But having said that, I gotta feel. I think Pachuca's just the better team, man.
Yeah.
I think they'll win it.
We have number 6 versus number 4, and Pachuca will have that home field advantage.
Hmm.
Pastor, what you got for me, man? Thanks for hopping on.
No, no, thank you guys. I'm gonna give you a little bit of financial advice. So when Philly has won the World Series, there's been a stock market crash.
Oh, yep.
1929, 1930, 80s, 2008. We are in a recession right now. Phillies are in the World Series final. 2008, the last time they won. Toluca also won that fall tournament.
Oh, no.
So history seems to repeat itself. Put your money on Phillies and Toluca to
Oh man,
win their finals, and then we have a stock market crash. So yeah, enjoy that. And,
I
and
don't
then
want to hear that, man. My Astros are gonna win
Ambriz,
it.
I would like Ambriz to win, but I feel bad for Almada, man. The dude has lost 2 finals. There's gonna be what, his third final in the last 4 tournaments. Like, the man deserves a win, but I just think Toluca's gonna get it.
Damn. Okay. Was over here making cocktails. I feel it, bro.
Those dirty martinis.
Get, getting some drink, yeah.
Shaking, not stood. Well, what's your closing thought, mate? Who you got? Pachuca, Toluca?
I haven't seen Pachuca enough to give a good analysis, but just personal, I would like Nacho to win, man. I think he deserves all the plaudits, and I would like him to be a number one candidate or even the next coach. I think he has what it takes.
All right, man. We'll see. You know, the lesser of two evils, I will go for Pachuca because they have less titles, and they have a young team.
Oh wow.
They have a young team.
it's go- I know it's gonna happen, man. Chivas is gonna drop
No, we will not be
to
leapfrogged. We
fourth
will
or
not be.
fifth. It, dude, it will, man.
Imagine if
In
that
the next
happens,
10
man.
years, it will happen. I mean, it
Nah,
already happened.
we got the Iron Man
America
now,
already
bro. We're gonna
overtook
turn things
him.
around.
2 teams above you guys. No,
There's
no
gonna be
more.
like four.
Nah,
It's gonna be
son.
like 4 teams.
can't
I
happen.
wrote about this 10 years ago.
Mhm.
Hey man,
I
even
did.
even a broken clock is right twice a day, man.
No, it's not a broke. It's just looking at how the
Even
how the
blind
trends are
squirrel
going.
finds a nut.
No, it's just seeing. It's just seeing
Yeah.
what.
We'll see what happens. I will say though, regardless of what side you're on, it's going to be entertaining final, I think. And because of the neutrality, there's not really too many fans on either side. You know, we can enjoy this one together. I really do hope the Phillies don't win the World Series, though. God, I don't want another recession.
Astros all the way, man.
Oh fuck, you're right. The Astros are even worse. Damn, it's just like
Come on, man.
the cheating Astros. No, I
The
can't-
mattress guy needs the Astros to win.
oh
Oh
man.
yeah, match is match.
Well, boys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for hopping on. We appreciate you guys so much. Kanye's been doing a lot of interviews lately. Maybe we can get him on here. We'll see. But we'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good night.